got a problem, Lottie's got the answer. She won't sugarcoat them, cause it's Lottie, and Lottie don't lie. Cause it's Lottie, and Lottie don't lie. What's up, Skirts Up Squad? It is Samantha.
And Melissa.
And we are here for another round of Lottie Don't Lie.
She don't lie.
No, she's just got to tell it how it is. I'm going to actually tell you guys how it is right now.
How is it? You tell me.
So I have been super embarrassed and really, really grossed out that I, at 30 years old, have to get a colonoscopy. But the more people, like private people that I tell, like people that I'm close to, it turns out that a lot of people have done it.
It's just a body part.
Yeah. A lot of them were like, oh, I had to do that in my 20s. Like I had to do that in my, like when I was 30. And I'm like, oh, so it's not that gross and it's not that weird. And so I'm like, I guess I just had never heard someone talk about it. And so I'm doing a gross thing that I guess is not gross.
Yeah, no, the doctor's doing the gross thing. You're going to be paying for it.
Man, what is wrong with the doctor? That is gross.
No, right? What kind of kink is that?
Okay.
Just kidding.
But, okay, so I find it to be a negative that I had to do that. But in a twist of fate shit of events.
We got really, really funny earlier, you guys. You missed it, but we had a lot of poop jokes.
Oh, we sure did. It was really funny, and it was just on a roll.
We were. I wish we were recording then.
Yeah, that would have been good. It was. Oh my god, we should take our show on a comedian roll.
Oh my goodness.
On the road. But on a positive note, even though I don't need a validation or like a reason, but it helps me feel like I can take 2 days off and do whatever I want for fun.
Yes, actually, because I was just re-listening to our episode that we dropped with Jill, and that was one of the things was reminding yourself that you aren't tied. Your value shouldn't be tied necessarily to the things that you got accomplished. But sometimes you do have to trick yourself and like give yourself like an excuse or a reason to sit back and just take some alone or quiet time.
Yeah.
And if this is what's working for you?
Mentally, like literally, I know that it doesn't have to be a medical procedure that warrants some rest.
Right.
And some me time. But it helps it feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get you. It makes sense.
So anyone else who is young, getting a colonoscopy or having to shit in a bowl and then scoop it out. Did you have to do that?
Did I
just out you? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. She's like, I did not shit in a bowl and I did not scoop it out.
Who did that?
Yeah, tell us who's done it with us.
Yeah, it's not. We'll see how scary it is.
It's not.
I don't really know what to expect, but
it'll be fine.
I think it's the unknowing of like the results.
For sure.
But we'll find out. So it is normal to get a colonoscopy at any age.
Yeah, totally. We're all going to be there for you, not like in person, obviously.
No. Melissa, do you have something shitty to share?
Do I have something shitty to share?
Is someone full of shit that you just want?
Shoot, now you're putting me on the spot, but I guess that's what we do, huh?
Maybe that should be our theme today. It's just shit-filled. What's another word for
humor?
shit? We were on like a roll.
Crap.
Oh, yeah. I said something about it's been a crappy.
No, she said, what's been cracking me up? And I said, well, has it been crapping you up?
That's right.
Anyway, no. Yeah. You guys just let us know we're not alone, I suppose. We've all been there.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, it's going to happen at some point because like it's just a body part and it's something we have to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So, anywho, Lottie don't lie.
Yep.
She has a couple things for us today. So,
in the light of Thanksgiving.
Yep, in light of Thanksgiving.
Coming up, we thought that it would be nice to have some conversations that I think a lot of us are having and having to decide as Thanksgiving and the holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
So, Melissa, I think you got some fun little inserts.
I do. So, okay, we have two really fun little
we couldn't
stories.
Decide. Yeah, I thought they were both really important.
I agree. Yeah. Okay, so the first one, the poster, she was talking about how she is the one preparing Thanksgiving at her home, but her brother and his girlfriend have refused to come if everything's not going to be vegan.
Meaning that no one can eat meat or anything that is besides vegan.
Yeah.
So, like, everyone has to eat vegan.
Everybody.
Okay.
So what happened was they knew that the boyfriend that her brother and his girlfriend were vegan, and the girlfriend started sending a bunch of recipes to the original poster, and she was like, well, I'll make you guys a main dish, like an alternative vegan main dish, and then I'm also going to make, one for us. And it turned into no, we're not coming if there's going to be anything there that is not all vegan. So,
but then
Lottie.
I think when you were telling me earlier, you also had made a comment that the original poster had said that just kind of irritated me. You said that...
I think I know where you're going.
So the original poster also said that her parents, her mom and dad, the brother's mom and dad, are also telling her to just do a full vegan meal because the mom wants to keep the peace and feels like she's choosing a traditional Thanksgiving meal over family.
Yeah.
And then I feel like they were using some sort of like health complications to like
guilt
manipulate.
Yeah. So the mom apparently has some health issues. And the dad was saying, look, this could be one of our last years together. Let's not turn this into a big fight. Let's just get together. And if that's what it's going to take to get your brother here, then do it. What's really unfair is that it is the OP. Like, it's all on her to do all of this. And I don't understand that part. For me, when I'm going to somebody's house and they're providing for me and they're doing all the work, I'm not going to sit there and be like, this is how it needs to be done. Right?
Yeah. I cannot find a time anywhere, even with our family, where it would be appropriate to say, if you don't do this, I will not be doing this.
Yeah. An ultimatum.
Yeah. So to say that if you guys want to have a traditional Thanksgiving, then I'm not coming, even though the option of having food available, that's shitty, I think.
Yeah, it's very controlling, isn't it?
Yeah. And then why does everyone feel like the daughter has to cave? Why is everyone catering to the son? So then that makes me feel like there's also favoritism. Yeah, like what do they call that? Mama's boy. That's not fair either.
No, you're right. Actually, I hadn't really thought of it in those terms. There is something else going on there. You're right. Okay, let's take it back a step. Let's try to look at it from the other side. So, vegan. He's saying that he's gone vegan for ethical reasons.
Okay.
And I have a bleeding heart for animals, right?
Are you vegan?
I am not.
Okay.
No. But I keep thinking I should be if I really want to profess how much I love animals. And why would I? Some of the industries are pretty effed up, right?
Yeah.
Like the meat and the chicken. Yeah. So I understand like the inhumane side of things and wanting to kind of only support good things. I don't think that it's fair, though, to take my beliefs and make somebody else have to either agree with them or
facts.
Yeah, like support them in the same way that I do.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was more than nice to say, I will make you a vegan option rather than saying, hey, I'm doing this for everyone because that's what we all eat. You're more than welcome to bring your own dish. Because I think that I wouldn't have taken that on because I don't know how to cook vegan and I don't want to fuck it up and be the one responsible for it.
So it's funny that you just reminded me. Apparently the brother and the girlfriend live in a van.
Oh.
Probably down by a river.
That sounds like a hippie vegan thing to do.
Yeah. So, I mean, I understand they're trying to have a very small footprint. whatever. But that's their footprint.
I don't
think it's fair for them to impose their beliefs on somebody else.
Dictatorship. Don't go for it.
That's right.
An asshole. You're not the asshole.
No,
don't cave.
She doesn't. Yeah. No, I mean, I and honestly, I don't. When you say don't cave, like she already was conceding. She already was being nice and trying to cut it in the middle. Yeah. So anyway,
I wouldn't cave anymore. That's ridiculous.
Lottie,
it's my holiday too.
Yeah, that's right. You don't just get holidays during colonoscopies.
I will be personally offended if you ruin my Thanksgiving with that vegan shit. If you are vegan, I'm not saying you're shit. FYI. No. I just don't want to eat it.
Yeah, and that's fine. But I do think there's place for everybody at the table. Ooh,
there is.
That was a perfect little saying for this.
Spread of knowledge. Did I just make another funny?
Spread. I see what you did there.
Spread the cheeks. Food of spread.
Spread the cheeks. Oh, no. It did have some multiple meanings that I didn't realize. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Nicely done.
Thanks. Full of it.
Yeah.
On another note, you have another one that seemed equally as important. And I think regardless who you are, someone's going to relate to one or the other.
Yes. All right. So, actually, you know what? Speaking of regardless who you are relating to one or the other, for all of our vegan listeners, I hope that we weren't trying to offend you in any way. And I would be curious to know what you guys think.
Oh, yeah. If you also are like a vegan Thanksgivinger, do you require the whole family to be vegan, or do you just make sure that there is something there for you that
you can partake of and still be with family?
Yeah, that's an interesting question.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the new one. So the new one, I do also think is another very important one. So this one, the poster is a female. She is married to another woman, and that woman came into their relationship. They've been together about 8 years with children. And so whenever they first started dating, the children were about 2, 4, and 8.
And they were fostering, correct?
No, they were her girlfriend's children.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought they were fostering and then she adopted, but they were the other woman's child and she adopted them.
Once they actually got married.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to become a whole family.
Okay. That makes sense.
So these children have been raised by both of their mothers, and they didn't have any ties to their biological father's family. They don't have any ties to their biological mother's family because they disowned her when she came out. And then their adopted mother's family, they've grown up with. So what's happened now, apparently, is the adopted mother, her brother had a baby with his girlfriend. And the parents are saying that baby is their first grandchild. What happened is they were all together at the grandparents' house, and the brother made a joke about the grandparents spoiling his kid. And they said, well, we have to. It's our first grandchild. And the brother's girlfriend, who was mother of said first grandchild, said, no, wait, you mean first grandbaby. You have grandchildren. And while the grandchildren, 10, 12, and
they were older.
All of them sitting there now. They're all sitting there, and the grandparents said, "No, they're not our real grandchildren. This is our first grandchild, and so we're going to spoil her." So immediately, one of the moms got up and took the kids out to the car, and the daughter of the two said grandparents, she just confronted them, and she said that, like, why would you say that? And they held their ground. They stood their ground. So,
and then basically it ended with, we aren't spending Thanksgiving with you, if that's how you feel.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's the Thanksgiving part.
Right?
Yeah. It was, like, you know what? Honestly, if you can't see that these children are your grandchildren, then why we're not going to be here for that.
Right. And then they told her, don't ruin
Thanksgiving.
Our granddaughter's first Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah, you said don't ruin our grandbaby's first Thanksgiving.
That is wild.
Is the 1-year-old who we're all worried about here.
First of all, as someone of a blended family or with a blended family.
Yeah, actually, I was excited to hear what you would have to say.
Unintentionally, I remember when Nora was first born, and unintentionally, Simon had made a comment to a stranger of like, "Oh yeah, this is my first baby," and that turned into a discussion. I was like, "I'm sorry, why did you just tell that lady that that was your first child? Like, I'm really confused because you've been with my kids for a long time." And he was like, "Oh, I didn't mean it that way." And so then I had to like explain like, well, they see you as a parent, so I don't think that's cool, and I would be very, very offended if they ever heard that.
Yeah.
And so then he was like, "Oh, you're right. That's not what I meant, and that won't happen again." And then if we think of Andrew, so Andrew is not Logan's biological dad, but Logan calls him dad. Amelia is his biological child, but Andrew's parents and sister call Logan their nephew, Amelia their niece, and they all look after Nora too, even though there's literally like not even a responsibility there. And so if Simon's parents, which they actually have, and I said, no, we will not be doing this, want to say like, "Oh, bring me my first grandchild, like let's do something. I want to see my first grandchild or my only grandchild," I would say no.
Yeah.
You can, that's fine, but not on the holiday. We're going to be a family on the holiday and do family things. And if you feel like one of the kids is just your family, then you can see them on not family gatherings and act that way, but not in front of the other kids and not around me.
Totally. No, that's really got to be painful because those kids they don't know it. Even if they did have other grandparents, which they don't. These are their grandparents. They see them as grandma, Nana and Pop is what they call them.
That's even more intense than like when I'm explaining, because that's, you think they, you consider them family. So that would be really fucked up. And I think that could cause some huge trauma to hear randomly that, we're not your grandchildren. I'm confused.
Yeah. And like, I mean, so they know that they're adopted. So that
doesn't mean anything. They know that they're adopted, and with that, they understand that they were adopted by that lady's family. They also took on the responsibility in the names. They didn't say, "Oh no, I prefer you to call us Jim and Jane." Like, no, they said, "Go ahead and call us Grandma," or whatever it was, and Grandpa. So it's not like it was just not their choice to accept the kids.
Right.
They accepted that.
Right.
So it's really fucked up. And I wouldn't take my kids to that Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So I actually think that it's easy to make a mistake. And so like I have two sisters that I didn't grow up with. And sometimes I'll say, "Oh yeah," when people ask me how many siblings I have, I'll say I have two brothers. And then I'm like, "Oh shoot, no, I don't. I have 4 siblings that I know of." But and it's like, okay, so sure, I'm allowed to make the mistake, but I don't think that they have a right. Well, they have a right to do whatever they want. They have a right to be assholes, I guess. But I just don't. What I guess I'm trying to say is for Simon,
how would your sisters feel if
they had? I mean, they understand, but what they would understand, because I'll even have, in talking to them, I'll have said things like, "Oh yeah, and my dad," and I was like, "Wait, our dad." And so like they understand, like there's certain things that don't come easy, but you, like with Simon, where Simon was able to step back and be like, "Wait a minute, you're right." That's all that's needed. That's all that's needed is for us to try to do better.
And he's never done it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that doesn't make a difference.
Yeah. So I don't think that anybody is saying that.
Like, even when I'm being a bitch and I'm like, "My child feels blah, blah, blah," he goes, "I'm sorry, our child?" And like, we'll be talking about Amelia or Logan or something. And so then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stop being a bitch.
But yeah, exactly. Like, of course, no one's asking us to be, or we're not saying that they need to be perfect.
Yeah.
But they do need to, if they want to be part of the kids' lives, I would say that they need to
the mothers,
be a real freaking part of their lives.
The mothers need to do what's right by their children and not stand for that division, because that's, I would start considering some separation from the family. Yeah. And I don't know if that's just harsh.
Especially because, well, they're really, really holding their ground, though.
Yeah.
It's not even like they're trying to come back. Okay. The grandparents aren't even trying to come back. So
like you said earlier, let's put ourselves into the grandparents' shoes.
Okay.
So we have 2 children. We've been raising children or welcoming children into our lives. Now we have a biological child in our life. What do we feel?
I mean, okay, I guess I can kind of take this for a second because I'm not probably going to have kids. It hasn't worked out for me. I've had miscarriages and such in the past. And so there's a part of me that can a tiny bit understand, like, oh, I'd love to see what could come out of my body. Like, that's my DNA right there, right?
Question.
Yes.
Okay. You share full DNA with your brothers.
Yeah.
You share partial DNA with your sisters.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel more connected and more like your full brother's kids are more your niece and nephew than your sisters? Or
oh, interesting. Yeah, no, because Christy's kids, like, now, no, I saw Christy's kids way more when I lived in Texas. No, I love them. They're my nieces and nephews.
It doesn't matter how long you knew them. It doesn't matter whose they are.
No. No, but I was trying to understand because, like, there is a part of me that has been like, look, I would love to see what could I make? What could my body make? But then I gotta step back and I'm thinking that's just kind of my ego, though. And I just want to be able to raise some children.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to care where they came from and who, like, so yeah, I don't think it's fair. I don't think I can fully try to understand what the way they're thinking. There's only a beginning part of it where I'm like, no, but then you have to check yourself.
Yeah, I've always said that for some reason I have this very strong intuitional feeling that somehow we end up with another boy. Not from my body, so that won't be happening. So I have this feeling that somehow, for some reason, we end up adopting a boy.
Yeah.
And why, I just can't fathom why that wouldn't be our son if that ever happened. Like, I can't fathom, like, I know my mom would never be like, oh, that's not my grandchild. And I just can't fathom where that would, if you make a choice to adopt someone into your family, I just can't fathom how that would make a difference.
Right.
Who's yours and who's not.
How can you go back and start saying, like, wait, they're not really our kids, though?
Yeah. I don't know. That's all kinds of fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. The mothers need to start, like, forming, like, either some separation or just setting
boundaries.
Up a safe space for their own family.
Yeah, that makes me really mad.
That's what you guys think.
Yeah, tell us, how are you handling that? But let us know what personal Thanksgiving dramas you are handling. Do you have a personal Thanksgiving?
I have a funny.
You have a funny that you're personally going through?
So, no, not personally right now. But one of my best friends and I, like, we would always do Thanksgiving together. And it was our favorite holiday.
Aw.
And I miss those days, actually. But I'm not in the same state anymore. But I have since been back to visit and met some of her friends that she's made since I've moved. And I was informed that she invited her friends over Thanksgiving, but gave them recipes and said, you have to bring this because this is how we do it.
Stop it. Was it like the recipe that you were responsible for bringing?
Probably.
Oh my God, stop.
I don't know for sure what it was, but it's just hilarious. And it's true. Look, we are fucking good cooks. And Thanksgiving is like, it's more than just a holiday to us, but at the same time,
oh my God,
everyone has their own traditions. And I'm just laughing so hard. I'm like, how are you going to tell them that they can't bring what was important to them? Hey, you know what? I'm not judging either way because that goes back though to what we just talked about.
That is so funny. You can't make people conform to like what is your normal.
Well, they still came.
I have a feeling I know who that is, and I am disappointed in them because do not make them conform to your
to your normal.
Yes, That's like, so we did a Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
And obviously I have preferences on what I must have. And I must have this very particular broccoli cheese casserole. And I must have this particular macaroni and like turkey. Like that's all I care about. I just have to have that. And my friends all wanted to bring a special thing that they have on Thanksgiving. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like that sounds awesome. And I remember everyone brought their little pieces and
everyone stuck to eating their own. Just kidding.
No, everyone tried I didn't. Everyone else tried a little bit of everything. And I just was like, this is weird. You eat this? Why? Like, okay. What do you do with this? I'm like, oh, this is weird. But I'm glad you have it.
It's so funny. Yeah. I mean, like, I say no harm, no foul. The friend laughed it off and wanted to be there anyway.
What a trooper.
It's family is what's important. Granted, our food is pretty important. No, just kidding.
Okay, but that's also you guys expecting that they're also a good cook and that it's going to taste equally as well. When,
no,
like,
you're right.
if they would have brought their own.
It wasn't me. Don't say you guys.
If they could bring their own personal dish, that's probably their expertise, and that's probably going to be top notch.
Even better.
Yeah, they've already had experience with it.
Honestly, I just think it's like being able to open up and let like more cultures come in. But hey, you know what?
I'm not critiquing.
I have a feeling that this person is grown since then, and I might be wrong. Maybe they'll be like, hell no, we're eating the same thing still every year.
That is so funny.
But it is
I'm not really mad about it.
I know you're not.
I'm being silly.
You are hilariously silly.
I know. Logan had a silly or a funny. So we were driving to my mom's house, and obviously Halloween's over. All the Christmas decorations are coming up, and we drove past a house, and Logan goes, I am sick of this.
Oh, no. In one day.
I was like, what? And he goes, why are people skipping the best holiday?
Logan, you are so on it. I am with you. It's the like, freaking best holiday.
Yeah, he was like, why aren't people putting up Thanksgiving stuff? Why are they skipping Thanksgiving? It's all the food, all the family, and I'm sick of it. And I just was staring at him, and I was like, oh, okay, tell me how you really feel. All right. That's
so
interesting.
Funny. I am all about the food as well. Okay, now I'm going to go back and be my little politically correct self too. Of course, there's aspects of Thanksgiving that are not politically correct and that make me sad. However, for me, it's about the food.
What's the point in that? I thought you were about to go somewhere like really dark or something.
I was going to talk about genocide. Okay. No, I decided not to like actually like bring it up and turn it into a conversation. But yeah, like there's things about Thanksgiving that aren't amazing. When you think
of
what's
just
the
talking
holiday.
About the history?
Yeah, the history, like in Columbus, and we're celebrating that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Like, but for me, that's not what Thanksgiving is because I love food so much, and so I refuse to give up my food.
In a non-judgy, aggressive way.
Yeah.
I feel like if you tied Thanksgiving to just the history of it, but you still love Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is Christian.
It's not, though.
No?
Stop it. Christians stole it from paganism. Like, Christians didn't even start with...
Stop it.
No.
Are you serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Then why the fuck don't they, like, are they not comfortable celebrating Halloween, but they're like, fuck yes, Christmas. Like, they're... Melissa, you just, like...
I broke
shattered my brain.
Yeah, sorry. So, Christmas... It has been what's the word, appropriated by Christians. But no, that's fine though. Like that's what they want to use to celebrate the birth of baby Jesus, and that's fine.
So after this episode, can you pull me information on this? Like now I need it.
Yeah.
I'm literally speechless.
Also, like the Christmas tree, like that's from paganism. Like that's a
I can actually see that
you put I don't
paganism, that's technically like the worship of plants, like living.
No, I got to do some more research. Paganism is never mind. I'm not going to try to pretend I know what it is.
Okay, we're going to look that up because I mean, I'm literally so curious now. Yeah. Like I have never heard of this.
Yeah. So okay, so when I say I can put aside the history of Thanksgiving because I don't even I don't agree with it, sure, I'm gonna stick it. It's like food for me. But I also do the same thing for Christmas because I'm not Christian and I want to celebrate Christmas because I want to sit around the tree. Like it's nostalgic for me to sit by a tree and enjoy.
Yeah.
Right?
That's all I've ever really thought about it. So it was really interesting that you were taking it in the direction of, I don't believe in the history, but I like the food and the family. And it's like, and I was like, that's what I've always done. So then I was just thinking, well, if you don't agree with the history of that, but love celebrating it, what about Christmas?
Same.
And I just hadn't.
I don't agree with history, but I'll celebrate it.
No idea.
But yeah, it actually didn't start Christian. That's true.
Huh. All right. Well, learn something new every day. I'm going to start looking that up. And what are your guys' opinion? I have not heard that before. I'm excited to learn that.
Yeah. Let's look it up. Let's do some fact checking.
Fact checking. Look in a book.
Yeah. Or on the computer screen.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not going to do the book thing. All right. That is Lottie Don't Lie for you.
That's right.
And she did not lie because we're going to look it up on Google.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. Don't hold me. That's why I'm like, I'm not going to describe paganism. If you liked what you heard today, hit that like button. Or the subscribe button, or whatever button it is that you have.
Just hit it. To continue this conversation with us, join the Skirts Up Show on, what is it again?
Well, we have Facebook, we have YouTube.
And Pinterest.
And no, we do not have a Pinterest, but we have Instagram.
You knew what I meant.
Rate and review. Rate and review.